Okay, hey, it's the Affectionist. What's up? So this is March. I said I put spring for the previous video, but it's summer 2023. I don't know if I said spring. Hopefully, I haven't been saying spring this entire time. I have been saying summer. Yeah, because I definitely want it. So this is for people who are Mars ruled or have prominent Mars placements, or have prominent Aries in their chart, or just are very curious about Martian energy. This is not. I don't do zodiac readings. I read per planet. For some reason, I feel like I have to explain this to y'all. Because there's somebody who may really not get the concept and clicked on this video specifically, and not specifically for a message. They may have been drawn in by the title. I'm just here to tell you that I don't read by zodiac. I read by planet, and the planets that rule zodiac, whatever. Anyway, the Hanged Man keeps coming up. It's come up in every fucking reading. I swear to God, what the hell is happening here? Let's see the tone. Let's get a card that sets the tone, and I'm gonna read from the book. It's pretty simple, the book. The Fool, which is very appropriate. Okay, so the Fool, this is the card. This is the deck, Awakening Aeon. But yeah. The Fool. Original innocence is that state in which you turn your attention to the fresh and unfamiliar. Feeling safe and supported, you are receptive to life. You enter happily and freely, applying your wisdom of your past to the uncertainty of your future. I feel like this has a lot to do with boundary setting, cord cutting, but heavy just boundary setting. I feel like understanding your boundaries, I feel like just understanding yourself and what gets you off, what I guess really lights you up, allows you to move forward. I feel like the summer has been very much about not dealing with this as a repeated cycle, right? Your Three of Swords is a repeated cycle, but as lessons and seeing them as such. Don't forget to be human, I guess, would be the advice also, though, because I feel like sometimes people in these tarot relationships, that's what we're gonna call them, feel very it doesn't serve me anymore. Everybody is a lesson. And it's yeah, but also you're fucking human. And I kind of feel why try and I don't know. It's not being spiritual demeans it, but trying to overtly spiritualize something. I don't know. It kind of doesn't flow. It seems kind of escapist, really. That's how you've been able to deal with it for so long, but it doesn't feel genuine. It feels working to avoid my problems, and you still have problems, so let's deal with them. I feel there's an arrogance to I got it. It's just an arrogance to it. I'm just saying. I kind of feel I don't know, maybe you need a kick in the ass, to be honest. Because I kind of feel you may be overestimating your ability to be there or be great. Or it's kind of you're so rooted in like the idea of a final form that like you kind of really don't realize that you're not in your final form when it comes to this. With the salamanders, I believe, that you're not in your final form, and that like it's okay to not be in your final form. It's almost like the in between times of you going from state A to state B is extremely vulnerable, and you prefer not to be like that vulnerable. It's like a hermit crab like leaving its shell for a newer, bigger, more improved shell. And that time that it's like scuttling across to like get to the shell, or the time that it's been inspecting itself, is like extremely vulnerable. It's almost like the in-between spots for you don't seem as important as like the destination. And as a result, you miss a lot of the lessons that perhaps could help you. Like you're like, I know it all, but it's like, then if you knew it, then like why you keep repeating it? You know what I'm saying? Like these are like obvious questions that you would have to ask yourself, and like maybe you just don't want to appear stupid. Like, you know, there's anger at like feeling stupid or not knowing. Like there's anger about that, like a genuine anger about it. You may have been like this as a child. That may be like a very like familial trait that comes out like very abrasive and very like just very abrasive and combative. But like chronically wrong. So there may be just a lot of shit about life that you've gotten wrong. Like a lot. And like I don't feel like there should be anger about how much you've gotten wrong. It's just like, do you accept that you've gotten it wrong? Like if you can accept that you've gotten it wrong, then move forward from that. But like if you can't accept that you got it wrong, then like you're in for like a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like verbally someone saying you're wrong like is very jarring to you and offensive, and it's kind of like heartbreaking. So like you may have a very picturesque way that you see yourself. You see yourself as like very like wise. It's not you're not dumb, or you're not the opposite of that, but it's just like wisdom is also not doing the same shit again, right? Like, and understanding and clocking the new forms that the same lesson can take. You know, even if it wisdom is kind of understanding that like the next time it comes, like I can avoid it. When it changes, I may take a while to get it, but once I do, I can also add that to my repertoire of like a knowledge bank that I can use. With you guys, I kind of feel like when things are very overwhelming to you, I feel like there's this energy that's combative that comes out that muddies everything, when you should strive to not inflame yourself. Like it shouldn't be as inflammatory as it is. Like this comes across very inflammatory. It shouldn't be as inflammatory as it is. I feel like you've been in a very inflamed state for a really long time. And perhaps there's like a need to admit just how like angry or upset about something that you are. and perhaps maybe upset about like how much you've had to change to get what you wanted. Like you've been really upset about having to change, having to move forward, having to do X, Y, and Z. It seems like it's just like a lot of anger and a lot of lashing out at people. And not even having grace with like yourself. Like other people, yeah, you don't have grace with, but like not even yourself, you know? I feel like the religious idea of like hell may be like very deeply ingrained in you when it comes to mistakes, particularly the idea of cumulative mistakes that like that keep you there. Like I kind of feel like there is an idea of, you don't like I told you so, you don't like hearing I told you so, you don't like hearing, like I guess anything less than positive, but it's just like, why is that? Perhaps you don't feel like you're loved if you're wrong, if you're less than perfect, if you're less than presentable. So this could be how you show up in the world. It's like you have to look a certain kind of way all the time, or people will judge you. Perhaps you come from a very judgmental society. It just seems like a lot of internalized anger. You have to be right, and you have to know what you're doing, and you have to like not ask for help. It's like being very strong and having very strong boundaries, I think, is a good thing. Perhaps you come from a very repressive or like panopticonish kind of culture or society where people are always looking at you and always picking you apart. But as a result, I think that there is a little bit of just like anger and wanting to push back. And so there may be a period of your life where there was a lot of fighting, like physical altercations also, where you felt like you had to like physically fight other people at its worst, at its most extreme, to like get what you wanted. And sometimes all you wanted was to be left alone, and people just refuse to do that. And so you've had to make really strong boundaries, really strong really strong, even forceful boundaries with other people so that they got the message. And so it could be also a thing of having been a pushover with this Hangman's energy and this Ace of Cups energy, even the Sun energy, like a pushover, a very bright person, a very sunny person, a very naive person, and people have taken advantage of that. And I think as a result, there's like a really high wall of resistance that you've put up against people. I think the problem is it's become like kind of abusive to yourself and potentially others, but definitely to yourself. Pretty abusive, pretty magnifying, pretty much not allowing yourself to be imperfect. I think restructuring how you talk to yourself is very important here. I think reconfiguring what it means to have good self-talk and what self-talk has looked like to you. I think there's just been a constant struggle with shit, a constant struggle mentally, emotionally, otherwise, outside of yourself. Could be family, but outside of yourself, that just wears on you, but it shows up just like more anger than anything. It's not like you cry about it, it's like you get really angry about it. Like you've been cheated with something, like you just feel like you're not getting your due. You're not getting your due, essentially. And it's annoying. It's frustrating. And you feel like people want to actually like actively like mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Like actively mess with you and actively like get on your nerves and actively be against you. I feel like there's very much active kind of things, but I don't think it's outward forces. I think it's just more mentally, because there's a lot of red here, and I feel like there's a lot of defensiveness. So it could just be the idea that like of being your position being threatened, attacked, but you could possibly suffer from some line of thinking that any little thing gets magnified and seen as a threat. Like things could be blown out of proportion more than what you think. Yeah. Proving to someone that you're right, but the question would be like, why do you feel like you have to do it in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So there could be a lot of proving you have to do or feel like you have to do, and there's an anger that you have to do it, almost like other people don't have to, why do I? But then there's like, nobody said you had to do it in the first place, so it's kind of like a misplaced anger in that way. Yeah, it's like a misplaced anger in that way. I feel like you potentially could lose a lot of people this way. Losing a lot of people, being very abrasive and very at your worst, like very scary. I think you've learned boundaries. You've just gone way overboard with how you implement your boundaries, like yelling and screaming or pushing people like physically, or really being manipulative, I guess is the way to say it. Like you may not know that, and you may not want to say that that's what you are, because there's another form of judgment coming on you. You may be somebody who, when people have like criticisms, are very, you bristle a lot at criticisms. Like a lot. You bristle a lot at criticisms. And you have immediate defense reactions. And as a result, your fortune could change and you could stay stuck. So it behooves you to develop some mechanism that keeps you from blowing up at people, and keeps you from being kind of almost vindictive in a way towards them. So heal that part, because you'll miss out on a lot of good people if you do that. If you go on the warpath to like destroy people, or go on the warpath to like tear them down as a result, you know, like the false narratives that you have to put in your mind to deal with them. You could be somebody who unintentionally hexes people a lot, or you would be like very formidable when it comes to that, because you have a very strong, like, directed eye, I guess, towards people and places and things like that. So when your emotions shift or, you know, are out of whack, it can really be powerful. Like, they can really feel it on the other end of your gaze or your thought. And I think dealing with that, where you don't feel the need to, like, kind of do that, would be, like, beneficial. So thank you for watching, Mars. I hope that you found this useful, helpful. I feel like this reading isn't going to be taken well. I kind of feel like somebody is going to get really upset about it and, like, go off in their mind. I don't feel like a nasty comment would come, but I feel like this person just, like, they were doing good. I feel like this reading is for somebody who would, like, blame other people and then come to the conclusion at the end that it was about them, and then be, like, really upset that it was about them. But yeah, you can, like, not hate yourself now. So bye. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Take care.